Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kelly. I run an Instagram over on Instagram if you want to check it out. Kelly Nicole Fit. Talk about all things fitness, health, fat loss, muscle gain, all the goods, all the things you need to know. I give you the why behind things. So today, I posted an Instagram about fat loss a couple days ago, and after I posted that, I got a bunch of DMs from you guys about fat loss, about your personal stories, about what you should be doing, etc. I also asked you guys to send me any questions you had about fat loss so that I can help you out right here, right now with this cutting Q&A. So we're going to get into that right now. I have all the questions right here. There's quite a few questions, so this may have to go into a two-pointer because I have a lot to say about this topic, because I feel like some influencers just throw things at people, and like it makes me a little bit upset because these are people's real lives that you're like dealing with, you know? And if I just put up a circuit, for example, as a lot of people do, and just say, here's a fat burning circuit, that doesn't give you any sort of strategy or plan or method to burn fat. It just gives you a circuit that you can use. I don't know. Okay. So this question was a very common question, which I understand, but it says, I've heard many different things on this, but fat loss with minimal boob size reduction. When you're losing fat, you cannot, absolutely not, no way in hell can you spot reduce fat. What does that mean? That means you can't choose which area of the body your body's gonna take the energy from. That's what fat is. It's just extra energy that it's stored, and that's what it considers it. So if you have stored energy anywhere, it's gonna take it from anywhere. And guess what? Your boobs hold a lot of fat. I mean, they just do. That is mostly what they're made of. So when you're losing fat, you're going to lose some of your boob size, and it's unfortunate, and I know that, but that's why a lot of fitness people who are really big into fitness and have been for years get boob implants, because if you're losing fat, if you have a lower body fat percentage, you're gonna lose size. How do you lose fat while maintaining muscle? This is a very good question. One of the most important things is protein. You need to be eating very high protein. I think one of the most important times, in my opinion, to eat high protein is when you're cutting. Your body, if it has extra muscle mass, okay? If you built muscle during a bulk, or you just built muscle in general, and then you're starting to cut down, your body will not keep that muscle if it doesn't think it needs it, okay? If you're not maintaining the muscle, if you're not making sure that your body is going to keep it, it will get rid of it because it doesn't have enough calories to go through the day, so it will just use it as fuel. It doesn't really give a shit if you want it or not. It doesn't need it, it won't keep it. So if you're eating enough protein, you're going to help make sure that the protein stays built and stays maintained after your workouts, especially. With that, making sure you're not cutting too quickly where you destroy your metabolism too much. Also making sure that you are lifting as heavily as you were when you were bulking or when you built the muscle, so that your body knows, okay, we still need this muscle to lift this heavy weight, so we're not gonna get rid of it. It's all about thinking about your body as something that's protecting you and helping you survive. It doesn't care about your aesthetic goals. It doesn't care about, you know, how many calories you're cutting because you want to lose this amount of body fat. It doesn't care. It knows that you aren't getting enough food for it to maintain as it properly has been, and that it needs to do something about that. And that something is either burning fat or burning muscle. So you just have to really make sure you're eating enough protein, you're lifting as heavily as you had been previously, and that you're not cutting too quickly, where you're gonna decrease your metabolism and make it even harder on your body to not burn that muscle. Okay, so this is kind of a difficult question because I don't really know like the specifics about each person, but it says, how much cardio should I be doing and should I increase it over the weeks? There's so much that depends on this. If you're starting out cutting, the general rule of thumb is, what were you doing previously? So I was bulking, right? And I wasn't doing any cardio, flat out zero cardio. The cardio I was doing was 5-minute warm up on the Stairmaster, which was nothing. So the general rule of thumb is when you go into a cut, you continue doing what you had been doing. So maybe you're doing one day of cardio, 2 days of cardio, whatever. Continue doing that and drop your calories a little bit. When you feel like you're stalling on your progress after you've dropped your calories and are still doing the same amount of cardio that you have been doing, you have one of two options. You can drop your calories a little bit more, or you can increase the amount of cardio you're doing. So cardio should be used as a tool to push past plateaus and things like that. It should not be used all out right away. The way you track your progress, literally just either, if you have a way to track your body fat percentage, you could do it that way, or you could just track your weight. And if you see that you are now maintained at a weight, that means you are eating the same amount of calories that you're burning. So you either drop your calories more or you start burning more. So what were you doing before you started cutting? Continue doing that. When you start to not see progress, then add in more cardio or eat less. Which carb food to eat for fat loss? That does not exist, okay? This question, I'm sorry, it's not you or the person who asked this or the question. It's just this mindset that certain carbs are bad for you and certain carbs will cause you to gain fat is ridiculous and needs to end, because it's not true. It's absolutely not true. I eat all kinds of carbs. I eat literally throughout my whole cut last year too, and throughout this cut that I'm going to be doing. Chocolate is in my diet, bread is in my diet, rice is in my diet, potatoes are in my diet, fruit is in my diet. No carb is a bad carb. No food is a bad food. What is bad about a food, is when you eat it in the wrong proportions, or wrong portions rather. So say you want bread, right? You want a sandwich. There are breads out there that are low calorie, low carb, right? And they're not low carb because carbs are bad. They're low carb so that you have a certain portion size that is friendly for cutting. You can still eat that bread, okay? You can have 2 slices of bread, make a sandwich and eat that and be perfectly fine on a cut. What's not okay to do is have 4 pieces of bread, each of them having 20 grams of carbs, and call that a healthy, cut-friendly meal. That's not okay. But the carb itself is not bad. You can have any carb you want. You just have to make sure you're eating in the right portion sizes for your goals, for your body, for your macros. Please drop the thought that carbs are bad or that any sort of carb is better than another one. Okay, yes, some have more nutrients, whatever, but they're still carbs, okay? Thank you. Okay, another very common question that I'm going to try to use an analogy for. Best way for fat loss. Cardio or weights? Again, a super common question, even a question I had myself first. I have cut and lost fat in 2 ways throughout my life, okay? One of them was just cardio. I was at this point in my life where all I did was cardio. My mom told me, you know, lifting weights is gonna help you. I didn't want to hear it. I did not think there was any way in hell I was burning enough calories to be losing fat while lifting weights. Like, are you kidding me? So I just did cardio consistently, 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, whatever it was. I just did cardio. And guess what? You will lose fat, right? You're gonna lose fat. And I did. I lost fat. Fine. That's one way. Second way was through lifting and cardio. And this way was so much better. I spent so much less time doing cardio, first of all, because I was lifting too and my metabolic rate was so much faster. And I lost weight that way too. Now guess which way was sustainable? Not the cardio only way. And I'm gonna go kind of deeper into this, and I'm sorry that this is maybe a little bit confusing, but I'm going to try to use an analogy, as I said, to kind of put the pieces together. So let's say instead of fat loss, your goal is to make money. General goal is to make money. The first way is you just get a job. It doesn't really matter to you if it's high paying, low paying, whatever, you just get a job. Maybe it's minimum wage, it's getting you money, it's whatever. So we're gonna compare that to just cardio. Doing just cardio, you're burning calories, you are going to be in a caloric deficit, you're losing weight, right? So you have those two. Now, in order to make more money, if you are just on a sort of pay by the hour sort of basis, you're going to have to work more hours, correct? On just cardio, in order to burn more weight after doing 30 minutes a day for the past month and you're now plateaued, you're going to have to do more cardio, meaning 45 minutes a day, or an hour a day, or an hour and a half a day. Now, let's say you lose this job. You were only making minimum wage, and that means you probably don't have anything in savings, you don't have anything to sustain the income that you had, your SOL. Cardio. You stop doing cardio. You have no sort of metabolic increase or any sort of muscle mass increase to sustain the weight that you lost, to sustain that fat loss. So you gain the fat back. Scenario number 1. You will make money, you will burn fat, but it's not sustainable, it's not the best method. Okay, method number 2, you go to college. You invest in yourself, you go to college, and you get a job after college, higher paying than just a pay per hour, and the chance to eventually move up in the ranks, get more salary, etc. Okay? The first few years you have to spend money in order to get more money later, right? You're investing in yourself. On this side, comparable to fitness, is lifting weights. Lifting weights, more times or not, your goal is to build muscle mass, correct? So let's say you want to build muscle mass. It's like investing in yourself. You're not going to lose fat right away, more times than not, but you are going to build muscle mass. And this muscle mass will increase your BMR, your metabolic rate, which means you will burn more calories at rest. So then when you go into cutting, or when you go into the working world, you can burn more calories just doing nothing than if you were just doing cardio. And just like on this side, it's sustainable, meaning if you lose that job, you had been making enough that you have money in your savings account. Same thing over here. If you stop doing the cardio, you still have your metabolic rate, which you had increased through increasing your muscle mass, so you can still sustain that weight loss. So those are the two ways, okay? And the reason I want to put it that way is to show you that doing cardio, yes, it will burn fat for you, okay? It's gonna burn fat. But what you need to understand is it's more than just calories in versus calories out, which one is burning more calories. That's the most short-term way you can look at it, and the one that's gonna get you in the most trouble, I promise you that. When you are doing too much cardio, not eating enough, you're slowing down your metabolism, making the time that you stop doing cardio even worse for yourself, because your metabolism's gonna be so slow. You're not gonna be doing the same activity you used to be doing, and you're gonna gain fat right back. Whereas if you're lifting and you're doing cardio, or you're just lifting and you're gonna start cutting later, you are increasing your metabolic rate. You are making sure that you have a nice foundation of muscle mass underneath so that you can sustain the fat that you lose during your cut. If you're just focusing on losing fat and how many pounds you can lose the quickest, you will be right back at this video, right back in another video, another guide, another book on how to lose fat in a couple months, because it's not sustainable. If you want to be happy and healthy and sustainably lose weight, please lift some weights, guys. So that's gonna be it for this part 1. I will probably do a part 2. If you guys have more questions, please let me know down below or on my Instagram, and I will help you guys out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.